Well, good morning. Hi, it's Leanne Boyd, and welcome to another edition of Cuppa Courage Tips on Tuesday morning. So, this week I want to cover about imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud. So, come on in and grab a cuppa, or hope you've got your cuppa already, and let's have a talk about feeling like a fraud or a fake. And I think we all suffer from that, like feeling like you're not good enough, and it can leave you struggling in your job and halt your career, and even struggling in your personal life too, when issues come up that you feel like a fake or a fraud, when it's through no fault of your own. It's just the way you felt in a situation, and you may have even felt a little bit of distance from people because of it. But anyway, I just wanted to cover that this week and put you at ease that you are not alone in this. Like, it happens to me a little bit too. Sometimes I have to stop myself and look at the way I'm thinking. But I just want to get into this today, help you understand a little bit about why this happens and what causes it and what you can do about it. So let's dive in and cut to the core of what this issue may mean to you and what it may mean generally. So sooner or later, every working professional woman, including entrepreneurs and leaders at the top of their game, may struggle with feelings of inadequacy and undeservedness, that they're actually where they are, undeserved of the success that they've achieved in their role. This makes it especially challenging to advance in your career, or to hit that mark or that goal that you want to, or to go out and have the relationships that you want to. We know when you're doubting every decision and action you make, there's no fun in that. It really puts the skids on you and holds you back and stops you from moving forward in life in the way that you want. Sometimes self-doubt can be so overwhelming that you'll actually start sabotaging yourself and find out that, your reality of what you feel, could I, what if I, and we tend to punish ourselves in that way when it's no longer necessary. The funny thing is when the women come to me and with the process I use afterwards, then they finish their transformation breakthrough, they no longer remember the old person that they are. They no longer remember who they are. They don't even remember how they felt, we hang on to so much baggage that we don't even know that we do. But it's there in our posture, it's there in our body, it's there in our language. And until we're made aware of it, we don't understand it or realize it. So imposter syndrome, or feelings of fraud, manifests itself in feelings of doubt, fear of success, fear of failure. It's just a constant fear of screwing up, basically. In the workplace, it may be really just a cause of double standards. That happens a lot in the workplace for women. Women's often frowned down upon if they're too quiet, or if they're being too pushy, or if they're outspoken. Women, we always find that we're being judged in some way, and but we need to get past that. Feelings of inadequacy may haunt us. It may haunt working women, because we're made to feel incompetent when we're not really. There could be even racist comments or sexist comments, microaggressions in some way, passive aggressions in some way in the workplace that make us feel inadequate. And often women feel like they have to work twice as hard in the workplace as men to get recognition and to be identified as an interesting person in the office, if you want, or a competent person in the office. Sometimes women will be judged if they're too qualified, because society sometimes deems that being too much of something is not feminine. And other people of both genders, actually, male and female, feel threatened by these women who are accomplished, and will go out of their way sometimes to make them feel less than and incompetent, just so that they can internally raise themselves up. So we we get that a lot sometimes, women. You know, we're just judged quite often. But, you know, in the workplace, you know, in my work as a career and leadership coach with professional women, I've been stunned actually at how often this happens to women. You know, they struggle so much with feelings of inadequacy and low self-confidence and even perfectionism, like they have to get it right. You know, it's really quite high, as much as 98%. Can you actually believe that? That's what research has shown, that 98% of women will struggle with feeling like a fake or feeling like a fraud at least once in their life. So there you have it. You're amongst good company if you felt that way in the past. You are definitely not out on a limb and not out on your own. You know, we put pressure on ourselves not to fail because we have all these outside influences. You know, we actually give in to ourselves when we feel that. We don't allow, when we do perfectionism too and put pressure on ourselves, we don't allow ourselves that margin for mistakes or margin for not being fast enough or good enough, whatever. You know, feelings of doubt, you know, results in high expectations we place on ourselves quite often. You know, we have all these external influences, yeah, you know, the double standards, you know, placed on us by men, the sexist, all of those things, they all play a part. But women, we do tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well to measure up, if you like. And we're afraid of not living up to the expectations of others. So these internal barriers that we have really sometimes prevent us from taking full opportunity and grasping opportunity with both hands and stepping into opportunity when it presents ourselves. We think, oh yeah, okay, I'm not really good enough for that. You know, I've done it myself. I'm not immune to it either. Sometimes I see things and think, oh, am I actually ready for that? Maybe I'm not. Or maybe I might just sit here and just, you know, I'm guilty of it myself. So when in fact I'm very well qualified to step into whatever I want. But sometimes I just put these expectations on myself and I really do have to stop myself. So I just want to say a little bit of perfectionism. It's really not a quest for doing your best, okay? Perfectionism actually can bring out the worst in ourselves. It's a pursuit actually of the worst in ourselves, the part of us that tells us that we're never ever good enough. We're never ever going to hit that mark. So we keep try again, and it's never good enough. So we never pass over that threshold into the next level of stepping up, if you like. So yeah, we're good at it. I'm a perfectionist. I had to really struggle with that. You know, until someone said to me that, you know, perfectionism is actually a form of low self-esteem. And I went, wow, well, there's a slap in the face that I never really considered myself as having low self-esteem. But if I'm always trying to be good at something or the best, put the best out there or whatever, then maybe I do. Anyway, I worked on that with the process that I use and I don't have that anymore. So yes, so, you know, these things, these little sneaky subconscious grips, if you like, on us that we're not even aware of, that hold us back. So yeah, so it's good to do that self-analysis sometimes, but never be too harsh on yourself. You know, you have a choice in this. You can let your secret fears dominate you and continue to stand in your way and in your goals, or you can channel that energy into trying to understand why you are the way you are. And then when you can understand yourself, then you can do something about it. It's all about really knowing your why this happened. Why am I feeling like this? Why did this illness happen? Why do I do what I do? You know, when you can understand your why, then you can do something about it. It's quite simple, really. So you just have to get to the root cause of why these things happen and why you feel the way you do. So when you assume that fear of success may in fact be a heightened sensitivity to the potential ramifications of stepping up. What might that do to relationships that you have? You know, it's quite common for people who then want to step up to success to then not have the relationships they've always had in their life, because people go, oh, who does she think she is? Why aren't we good enough? People are funny, really. We tend to migrate in tribes, come together in tribes. And if someone steps away from the tribe, well, we don't like that. Who are they to step away from the tribe? But, that's just a bit of a fault in our human nature. We are natural connectors and nurturers, women, but sometimes when someone leaves the tribe, we don't like it. But, you have to get over that and wish them well on their way. Anyway, getting off the subject. So if you have difficulty seeing yourself as competent and qualified, it may be at times, as I said, society has put that pressure on you. So have a think about that, because sometimes, as I said, being too something isn't classed as feminine. It's actually seen as quite dominating and masculine, which is wrong. So, so that's another reason why sometimes we are afraid to step up and we don't want to step into what we're actually really good at. So we tend to go, well, let's just sit back here and sit in my little fraudulent place that keeps me safe. Anyway, so let's have a look at your internal rule book for success, shall we? What's what you might actually be saying to yourself? These are your competence rules, and some of your language might be like should and always and don't and never. They're really, really strong negative words that tend to pop into our language, and we don't even realize we're so used to using them that they just become part of us. But it's not until you actually step back and have a look at how you're being and how you're talking that you realize. I actually get the women in my workshops to write down a couple of paragraphs or 3 paragraphs about themselves, and then go back and have a look at the language that they've written. And you can do that at home if you want, and just go back and have a look at what you've written. But now that you're aware, you may not be writing them down on the pages so freely. But anyway, so you might say to yourself, if I were really smart, I would always know what to say. This type of saying that you say to yourself, it will drive your behavior to never raise your hand unless you feel 100% sure you are correct about something or right. And another thing that we might tell ourselves is, don't ask for help. You'll seem incompetent. You won't look like you're as good as what you think you are if you ask for help. So that's another thing we can ask ourselves. Or the other thing is, always over prepare, and that is right up there with perfectionism. These worries and concerns that we have about looking incompetent or fraudulent, they all fit in these categories. So I just want to have a look at what you're doing at your core when you do things like this. You've managed to put these strong internal expectations on yourself, haven't you? I've been guilty of it before I knew what I knew now. You've put these really high expectations of a standard of performance on yourself that's rarely achievable. Well, it's not anyway for just us mere mortals. When you put that really high standard of performance on yourself, how are you ever going to do that? So of course you're going to lose your confidence and you're not going to feel confident. A clear understanding of this and your own limiting self-expectations that you put on yourself will help you get rid of these feelings of incompetence and fraudulence. So just be aware and stop yourself from, putting these expectations upon yourself. Then when you stop doing that, you can get over the feelings of shame and fraudulence that you're never going to do these things, that you're always going to fall short. So once you have a better idea of your internal language, the next step is to swap your old unreasonable rules upon yourself and reframe your competence and your feelings of confidence in more realistic terms. And this provides you then with an opportunity to step into your something that you're chasing, something you desire, because you're going to feel more confident and you're going to be more confident because you haven't placed these expectations upon yourself. So let's just have a look at some confidence rules of practice. You may like to have a pen and paper, or I should have mentioned that earlier, or you can play this back in the Facebook Live and just jot some of these down for yourself later. So these are some of the things that you can tell yourself that make you have more confidence and feel more confident. So some of the rules are, these are just little sayings you can say to yourself. So when you don't know something, you can still project confidence. That's the first rule. To get the job done, you first need to identify everything that's required. Of course, what does that mean? Well, if you're going to go into something headstrong and then not have all the tools that you need, you're going to feel incompetent, aren't you? So it's good to have everything ready before you start. So confident people know how to ask for what they need. And they do. They put down, they make their list, write down everything that's required, and then they go seek help and find out and get the things that they need before they start. And then they can just confidently go about their business. So the next rule is, your work does not have to be groundbreaking, right? It doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be good. All it does is it has to feel right for you. Another rule is, it's okay to say no. Because sometimes we tend to say yes because we don't want to seem incompetent, and then we get ourselves into, a big jumble or a, bundle of nerves, and then we feel incompetent, we lose our confidence, and it all goes to crap, really, doesn't it? So anyway, so another rule is, when you slow down and cut out unnecessary tasks, you get to focus on the activities that really matter. Sometimes you can be running around with one foot nailed to the floor. Okay, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done. When in fact you don't. You just need to rein yourself in and focus more on what is really necessary to do. Another one is, trying to be a superwoman actually creates an unhealthy message. It sends an unhealthy message for your family, and especially for your children, your sons and your daughters. They see you trying to be the superwoman. They lose their confidence because they think, oh, I could never be like that. Oh my God, is that how you're going to have to be? I can't do that. So it undermines their self-confidence and feelings of confidence. So just remember that delegating frees you up to do what you want and gives others a chance to step up as well. So then you can create your own little team by delegating, and you're going to feel confident and competent that way anyway. Remember, perfection, as I mentioned before, it inhibits success. It's crap. Throw it out. Don't need it. What may not be good enough to you may be absolute gold to somebody else. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes good is just good enough, okay? And your perfectionism impacts others. While you're so busy trying to be perfect, you're actually denying other people of getting your knowledge, your part of you, part of your education, and and denying them the opportunity to work with you as you serve them. So always remember that your effort will always trump your ability. Okay, what you put in, people will appreciate it regardless of your ability or effort, or level of expertise. If you're seen as putting in the effort, that's a great place to start, and from there it can only progress. So well, thanks, Danielle. I'm glad that resonated with you. So so remember that your challenges are opportunities in disguise. Don't shy away from them and think, oh God, I'm just not good enough. Your challenges are opportunities for you to progress and improve. And if you get it wrong, too bad. So sad. Doesn't matter. Then you know not what to do next time. So so just reframing all of that feelings of lack of confidence and incompetence. Okay, I want you to focus on what you're good at. Build relationships founded in trust, gaining allies, and foster a culture of teamwork at your workplace or around you, even with friends. You can say, let's go and do something, and just people will follow, because people are always looking to do something great. Direct some special energy at people you think that you're not capable. They don't believe in you. Focus all your energy on them and show them that you can do this. This works. And that strategy works. They start to take notice of you and go, oh, wow, that was pretty awesome what she did. It makes you a better person because you feel more confident, makes you a better leader because it fosters self-awareness about what you can and can't do, while increasing, productive communication with others and collaboration with others. And that's always a great way to surge forward. So redirect your fears and doubts and turn them into opportunities for growth. That's huge. Even if you write that down and put it on your wall, redirect your fears and doubts and turn them into opportunities for growth. Okay. Realize that we all experience the same thing. As I mentioned before, 98% of women will experience feelings of feeling like a fraud or a fake at least once in their life, okay? And that's a fact. So, as I said, you're not alone. So always know that. Realize that everyone's in the same boat. And seek out stories of people that you admire. Because when you do, you'll learn that everyone experiences imposter syndrome or feelings of inadequacy at some time. You go on TED Talk and there's numerous people on TED Talk that go, I was once like this, now I'm not. So, train your brain to look at success with pride rather than fear. That will help you always step forward. Be proud of what you do. Be proud of what you're doing or what you're trying to achieve. And focus on someone else rather than yourself. When you're always focusing inward, you can go to those negative places. Whereas you focus on someone else, then you're focusing outward and all your energy is going outward. And you'll automatically step into your confidence because you're doing something for someone else. It's great. It's a great method. I know when I'm sitting here sometimes and I'm thinking, I get caught in a trap too. I'm only human, even though I've done all the work. But then as soon as I go, okay, what woman out there needs something today? Then I automatically put something out and I don't feel like I have a lack of confidence. So, and if you are in doubt, write down all your successes. Write them all down, put pen to paper. And before long, you'll have a list that's a mile long and you'll go, my goodness, I am good at so many things. Now I just need to go and put that into action. So I hope you've got a lot out of that this week. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Danielle, for watching. So